I came up with the idea for this painting one day, sitting down at the desk, just thinking about how America just uses us and tosses us away. And I actually sketched out an image of Jordan Davis roasting over kind of on a spit, which sounds very graphic, and it's not as bad as it sounds, but on a spit over the torch that Lady Liberty holds, and he's being roasted on that flame, and the hands are dining on it with this knife and fork. Then I took that a little further because there was no way that I could sit and really just draw this young boy's face in a canvas, so I used a different image to just place on that plate. And it really is the thought of America, I mean, just quite literally dining on, feasting on our black babies. So you have the other side of this where I was at brunch with some of my buddies, and shout out to Mike Hayes, and back to the idea of cooperative economics. Mike Hayes sells homes, so look out for him. We'll tag him here. But Mike was at brunch with me, and I'm sitting down, and this is actually the toast from Mike's brunch plate that day. I took a picture of it because I'm just thinking, I love brunch, I love carbs like the next person. I am a freak for home fries, and I was at one of my favorite brunch spots in Philadelphia at the time, and I'm just looking like, man, this is a lot of food I just ordered, and the way that we just overconsume in general was still at play in my mind. Another thing I wanted to touch on with this painting is that one day at work, I brought this painting into work. And I haven't really talked much about what my job is, but I work for a very large aerospace company, and I am a professional at that aerospace company, so I work in an office setting, and we were having a cubicle decorating contest in the office, and I decided to make my theme an artist studio with the express purpose of pushing the envelope and being an activist in that corporate space. So this was really my first entree into corporate activism. I brought in this painting, set it up on this easel in the cubicle. I had on like a little red beret, and strewn around, there were little tubes of paint strewn around the cubicle, but really it was about putting this on display and making people have conversation with me about it. And in my mind, I was completely authorized to do so because this was just decoration. And it came time for, I actually won the contest. I placed in the contest, which is just shocking to me, and kudos to the company for being receptive, but there were a lot of uncomfortable conversations that had to be had. There were times when, to be quite honest, I had to modify the message because I just didn't know if they would be fully accepting of what I was really trying to say, but it's nearly impossible to pass this painting and not really get what I'm saying. You can try to act oblivious if you want to. I was actually shocked by how many people walk by and ask me, "So Zan, what's the meaning behind this?" But it's just quite literally what it is. It's America eating a baby. There is a black baby on a plate, on a platter, being served up for this country, and you can't act as if you're not understanding it. We're at a time now where everyone who was once turning a blind eye is now at home during this pandemic, recognizing this is what America looks like. You can't shield yourself from it. You can't shield your kids from it. And we've never been able to shield our kids from it as much as we've tried. Our kids have always been fed for the slaughter, or feed for the slaughter for America. And it's always been a blessing and the defeat of a statistic just to grow past a certain age as a black person in this country, and specifically a black man. So again, that thought of just our babies not being able to be babies, having to have that talk with our children about how to survive so that they can matriculate from childhood to adulthood in a safe manner without ever being just taken off this earth at the hands of the oppressor, essentially.